Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Curseof and welcome back to another video. And welcome to today's unique video for Yugi-Kaiba format. If you guys are just showing up here, maybe this is the first video you're seeing on my channel, or maybe you're checking out a Yugi-Kaiba video and normally you're a speed duel kind of guy. Welcome to Yugi-Kaiba format. You might have no idea what this is, and if that's the case, check out the cards right now, right up there, and you guys will see the basics on Yugi-Kaiba format. It'll give you a rundown of staple cards, rulings, pre-erratas, etc., etc. And yeah, it'll basically explain to you guys what this format is. But if you guys already know what this format is, or if you just watched the video, hi, welcome back. Today, we're here to talk about how to side deck in Yugi-Kaiba format. So let's get into it. So, a lot of people, when first entering Yugi-Kaiba format, they assume that it's a very, very old format. There's no really established decks, and if there is, well, they're all fairly similar, and the side deck barely does anything. But I'm here to tell you guys that if that's your mentality, going into this game, going into this format, you are very, very incorrect. The side deck is actually extremely powerful and extremely important in Yugi-Kaiba format. There's kind of two ways to side, maybe three, but not as much. And I'm basically just going to go over these ways to side and why certain ones are preferred. So first off, let's go ahead and go over I guess the most common way to side, which would be simply siding for a matchup. So for example, there are going to be certain cards that are good against certain decks in the meta, in the format, and naturally you side for these matchups. You might side Card Destruction, for example, because it's really good against Exodia. You might side Stop Defense because it's good against a stall deck, for example. Or maybe you'll side Reverse Trap to help beat the equip decks in the format, mainly the Fiend Beat equip deck. This is siding for a matchup. If you guys do go ahead and take a look at my deck profile that I made, which will be up in the cards right now, right there, check it out. You guys will notice that I do side a few cards for certain matchups, say. So I do have like Block Attack Stop Defense for equip decks, not equip decks. Come on, I got this. Flip control decks and stall decks. Obviously, this card helps a lot with those, forcing your monsters into attack position, forcing man-eater bugs to pop themselves, trap masters to pop their own trap cards, etc., etc. So very powerful in that matchup, and it's useful there. I also side the reverse trap for the equip matchup. They equip a card, they swing in, reverse trap becomes a 1-for-2. Very powerful. I also side things like remove trap for continuous traps, whether my opponent plays a Dragon Capture Jar against me, because I do play the Blue Eyes deck, or maybe if they're running a more aggro or even more stall heavy deck playing Ultimate Offerings, that's also a target for it. So as you can see, there are a lot of cards chilling in my side deck that are for potentially other matchups, and this is the main way that people are going to side, especially first coming into the format here. Side for other matchups, and they might think, well, does this really do that much against another matchup? How important is this card in the side deck? Is it really a good card? And a lot of people are actually going to probably say that the side deck doesn't matter. Especially siding for matchups, it's definitely not as powerful in this format. Yes, it can help, especially against the Fiend equip deck. You basically just auto-win when you side in your reverse traps. Absolutely amazing for that matchup. But outside of that, a lot of the cards that you side for matchups aren't amazing. Which is why it's actually not the primary way to side in Yugi-Kaiba format. So let's go ahead and segue into another way that you can go ahead and side deck. So the second way to approach side decking in Yugi-Kaiba format, which is actually more what my side deck is tailored towards, is playstyle. You put in side deck cards based on how your opponent plays. For example, if my opponent plays a lot of flip monsters, we have Stop Defense. my opponent commits a lot of monsters to the board, we have just desserts. If my opponent holds on to their spell cards all the time, instead of setting them, then we play card destruction. If my opponent sets all their spell cards, we play Dispel and Armed Ninja. You side not always to go up against the matchup, but you side based on your opponent's playstyle, and this is a lot more common way to see siding done in Yugi-Kaiba format. If I actually were to bring up some of the top deck lists here from YuGiOh Legacy's tournament, for example, let's go ahead and take the second place deck list popping up right here. You guys will see Armed Ninja really good if your opponent sets a lot of spell cards, if they maybe don't set the trap cards right away to play around Trap Master. Wall of Illusion's really good, especially if your opponent has low flip effect monsters in their deck. Wicked Worm Beast, maybe if you really need to play board wipes, or you just tend to be in a commanding position, more bricky decks. You also have things like Ukazi and Just Desserts, in case you have found that going up against this opponent, you get to that point where you just need a little more burn damage. These can be very possible, and very strong. So you do see these cards coming into the side deck here. We even have a card like Sogen, or I think that's how you pronounce it, against certain decks that I guess just don't have monsters that get buffed like that. For example, my Blue Eyes deck only runs one copy of Battle Ox. This could be a good side against my deck potentially. So very good. This is how you kind of can side, you know, to play up against an opponent's playstyle rather than going up against a deck that your opponent may be playing. And the third way to side deck here in Yugi-Kaiba format, which is actually the most prevalent way to side deck we actually run into going into more of the top deck lists here and the best players in the format, and that side decking strategy is smoke screening. You go ahead and you roll up with usually a standard beat deck, maybe something else sometimes. So say you roll up with the best deck in the format, standard beat. Amazing deck, but it has a little bit of a harder matchup against something like Stall. So what you do is you actually smoke screen from standard beat into soul beat or into soul stall to go up against your opponents. Because these soul exchange decks, they brick more often, so they're not as good as standard beat, but being able to remove your opponent's walls, having more removal access, is very important and makes the soul beat decks actually have a better matchup. So you'll see a lot of people actually smoke screen for their side deck here. And if you actually go ahead and take a look at some of these top lists here, you go ahead and look at the first place list from YuGiOh Legacy's tournament, you will see they smoke screen into a Dragon Caller deck. Dragon Caller. I'm a Speed Duel guy. A Blue Eyes deck here, which is very interesting. I actually don't see a lot of people smoke screen into Blue Eyes. So that's pretty cute there. But more primarily, I'll give you an example like this one right here. You see a Soul Beat deck smoke screening into a standard beat deck. They have their triple Neo and their triple Battle Ox in the side deck to replace their tribute monsters and maybe some of their walls. So this whole smoke screening strategy is very important to the format and is the primary way to side in the format, because basically siding between the two best decks in the format gives you access to, well, I mean, both of the tier 1 decks, and it gives you better matchups against Blue Eyes, against Stall, against other Soul Exchange decks, or against the standard beat deck. And yeah, you basically switch between the two best decks depending on your matchup, and overall that has tended to be the best way to go about the side deck here. I could even show you another example, this one going from standard beat over to soul beat. So very common way to play the format, and seems to be the best way to side deck in this game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing. I am doing 2 videos per day of Yugi-Kaiba format content. If you guys are enjoying this content, please hit the subscribe button and hit that like button. It means a lot to me, and it obviously motivates me to keep on doing what I'm doing. Along with that, I do have a big surprise coming up for you guys at the end of Yugi-Kaiba week, so I hope you guys are super excited for that. But anyway, I'll catch you guys all in a few hours and tomorrow for another video. Peace.